So knowing those mentors that you have in your life, spiritual, business, whatever mentors you have, and just bouncing it off of them, hearing a different perspective. But like you've said, it's our wives are lots of times the voice of reason in our lives, and that's the case in my life as well.
Tulsa Talks is the podcast that is inspiring people to have everyday meaningful conversations to gain perspective and help the world.
This is sweet, though. What made you want to do this?
About a decade ago, I had a complete peace thought of PEACE for people realizing that God has sent them on this adventure. And I did a soft launch. It was going to be a church. And I realized there's so many churches, and I couldn't ever bring myself to inviting anybody to it. In November, I started talking to people about Tulsa Talks and some other things that we're incorporating under the Complete Peace movement. At that time, there were two people within a day or two of each other. Nobody had asked me before, is that EACE or IECE? I said, okay, I hear it. I'm going to change that. It's going to be IECE because we're all one piece of the complete piece.
Yeah.
And when we realize what piece of that puzzle we are, and we embrace that wholeheartedly, and we're not concerned about our peripheral as far as trying to control or manage it, but embrace what we've been designed to do and fully engage in whatever that is, then we can live a purpose-filled, passionate life like you've never seen. That's why we're doing Tulsa Talks.
That's incredible. So I don't want to turn this into me interviewing you, but I want to know more about this and what you did leading up to business. Like, what did you do leading up to this spiritual journey that you're on now with this?
Yeah, I have always been aware that there was more, and I've always, as I said, all chips in, no matter what I was doing. And that's kind of a family trait, if you ask my wife about it. Yeah, you're being a Lightfoot, my last name.
And I would love to know more about that, where your family comes from.
So my uncle started off being a home builder in the 70s, and now he has a chain of lumber yards like M&M Lumber.
Okay, yeah.
6 of them. And he went from building 300 houses a year at one time and supplying himself through the lumberyard to, he's a serial investor. He's like what did they call that? Family business now. And my dad, he had me out on job sites, building buildings like we're sitting in at somewhere around 7 years old. Moving the forklift around, driving the forklift, getting tools, putting tools up, and just hanging out with Dad.
Yeah.
So I've always been around business, and then Mom and Dad got divorced, and when I was 14, and all playtime ceased.
Yeah.
And all that to say this, I was in business for myself for 30 years. Last year I retired, found myself in a financial position to retire. Took about a 13,000 mile trip in our RV, pulling my Jeep. And I realized that I could not wait to get to the next person that I was going to meet, to hear their story and hear what their life has been like. And my wife got to say, look at this, look at that, look at this, look at that, look at this, look at that, like every 5 minutes at least. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. And I almost offended her by saying, that's not really my thing. I enjoy the beauty of nature, being in nature and having solitude. But my big thing is always been being somewhat of a social butterfly. I know my lane. Rita's into real deep relationships. I'm into deep thought and having a good humorous time. If I don't have enough time for deep thought,
That's
engagement.
That's me for sure.
And all that being said, let me say this. We have another aspect of the complete peace, which is a self-awareness program called Determining My Life's Work. And its function is to help people at a younger age see themselves in a true light by introspection. It doesn't tell them what they should do. It asks them and helps them determine themselves. And the start of that is, or the first stage of that is, what are my gifts, abilities, and tendencies?
Mm-hmm.
The second one, in other words, who have I been created to be? The second one is, what are my triumphs and tragedies, and how has that shaped me? And the third one is, what are my negotiables and non-negotiables? And then it introduces career paths that can that you can fit into. And all of that being said, everything that I have experienced in the past and all throughout my life, and I think that everybody can say this for themselves, my gifts, abilities, and tendencies have given me these decisions. The triumphs and tragedies that I've experienced because of my decisions and my surroundings have shaped how I use those. And now this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I'm not going to do. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that's what. That's why why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
So all that being said, let's talk about Garrison.
All right, that I could do.
So, Garrison, tell me a little bit about what you do with Hope is Alive Ministries.
So for those that don't know, Hope is Alive, we're a nonprofit ministry that helps addicts, alcoholics, and their loved ones change their lives. And my job is to have relationships with the community, businesses that I'm in, like donor relations, volunteer engagement, things like that. But really, it's just doing day-to-day life with the guys and the ladies here in our homes. We have 5 here in Tulsa, and I get to be of service however they need. But also it's sitting down and seeing how people want to get involved, and whether that looks like serving us in a way, meals, speaking to our groups, anything like that. Or, there's those people that just want to give to something, and
Yeah, some people have more time, some people have more money.
right. However you have your time, talents, and treasures separated, it's my job to figure out a way to get you plugged in to Hope is Alive and at least see what's going on in our community, trying to turn away from a life of darkness and bondage to drugs and alcohol. When I was going through my phase and life of just totally centered around drugs, my dad was totally blind to it. He thought alcoholism and drug addiction was what they showed him on a video in grade school, which was just a a homeless person on the street.
Non-functioning.
Yeah, with a needle in his arm, and that's what an addict was. But to his surprise, it could be his son as well, and that's a whole journey that we had to walk through together. And him explaining that he had zero experience with it, so it was a learning curve for both of us on how to get better and totally change my heart and mind, other than just being sober and not taking drugs or drinking alcohol. So
abstinence and recovery is two different things.
Definitely, for sure. And that took me a long time to realize. So as you were telling me earlier, your parents got divorced at 14. That was the same age that my parents split up. So as we know, that was an age that I looked up to my dad totally, and wanted to do everything with him. So when they split up, you have to split that time. You don't get, and already my dad was one of the hardest workers I know. So you had that time when he got off work, and that was the little time. And so now him not coming home was getting into that. So that put a strain on our relationship, and left my mom trying to kind of corral us three boys. We had another younger brother, a younger sister, and then an older sister that was already out of the house. But it's like herding cats when you have that many kids, and all at an age that kind of experimenting with stuff. My brothers were in high school, so I just kind of wanted to be like them and hang around and do whatever they were doing. And at that point in time, it was drinking, and then they had some friends that were getting into the drug scene a little bit, so that came with experimenting with stuff. But something was different about me. I had this allergy that was that I couldn't just drop it like they did, and they were able to go on and have successful or start successful careers that they're still doing today. And for me, it sunk its hooks into me and dragged me down for, I don't know, probably a 15-year journey with using and abusing drugs or any people that I could manipulate, and got me kicked out of high school my senior year, where I had needles and pills on me, and just, to me, it just felt like such an embarrassment to my family. I still had two siblings coming in behind me, so you kind of put a stain on them. And then my father, he's an attorney and now a judge in Creek County, and that was an embarrassment. My mom was a teacher, so I don't know. It just felt a lot of shame and guilt, living a double life, but then your whole life is put out there for your whole school to know, because it was in the middle of class. And
that guilt and shame doesn't help the condition, does it?
Ever, no. And it just keeps you sick, for sure. Yeah. And
maybe even pushes you further into that
absolutely, spiral. Absolutely, because you want to mask those feelings any way possible, and that's what I did.
So you went in the military?
Yes, and that was a long step process as well. That I tried to get into the Marine Corps when I was 18 years old. Was this close to signing the papers. I put something wrong on my sheet at MEPS. That's the last step to joining, if your viewers don't know. But I put, my mom said I was allergic to penicillin, and they said, we can't have you putting your mom. We need a doctor to tell us you are or you aren't. So they sent me back to Tulsa to get an allergy test. At that point, my grandma in Cleveland, Ohio, passed away. So we went up to her funeral. I stole all her pills that in my mind she didn't need anymore, so I was going to take them.
Yeah. Good justification.
Yeah, smoked some weed, and that made me have to dodge my recruiter for another, you think 30 days to get it out of your system, and then it turns into, I'll use this one more time and drink more water, and then so it just spirals out of control. So I that fizzled out.
But you were eventually able to get in.
Yeah, when I got into the Hope is Alive program in 2016, after failed attempts at the Marines and failed attempts at the Air Force, I got into Hope is Alive, saw a window that I was going to stay sober for, and I went to the Army recruiter's office the next day, and 3 months later, I was in basic training, and but I left before the miracle could happen. Where my feet were at, a seed was planted there at Hope is Alive the first time I was there. That I believe never stopped growing. It was a foundation that I needed, at least to know was there, because I had tried a lot of different programs.
So how long were you in the military?
I had a 2-year contract, and I replaced the drugs with alcohol, though. And so when it was coming up to re-signing or not re-signing, I couldn't do it. I was too dependent on this thing to do anything else with my life. So when I transitioned out of the military, I knew who to call, and that was Hope is Alive again. I had a friend that worked for him that got me in the first time, someone that I used to party with in high school, and he said, yeah, I got a spot for you in Wichita. So that's when I moved to Wichita, Kansas, from my last duty station at Fort Drum, and moved down there 9 months in, working for a plumbing company. He asked if I was interested in working for Hope is Alive, and I took that opportunity, and that was in 2020, and been here ever since.
Nice. How long have you held this role that you're doing now?
5 years.
Okay.
I did it. I went down in 2020 for a internship to learn under our founder, Lance Lang, and followed him around for 3 months, just seeing how he operated meetings, seeing how you sit down for breakfast and then get to a point where you're asking someone what their yearly giving looks like. It can be a hard conversation. People don't like to talk about money much. So asking people what their plans are for giving, does their family give to charity, navigating those conversations, just learning the role.
And the more I've lived, the more that I know people want to give.
Yeah, they do.
And they're waiting for somebody to ask them.
Once you get past the wall in your mind.
That's right.
Right, it's fine. And they're like, okay, yeah, I respect you asking me, and, most of the time it's we give to this, this, and this. We can put Hope is Alive on the list, and a lot of families sit at a round table at the end of the year and vote on it. Honestly, I've found that's what a lot of them do, and it's just getting them plugged in different ways so they see a value in Hope is Alive. So learning how to do that has been a process. I'm still learning every day, but that it's taken 5 years to get where I'm at right now.
How big of a geographic footprint does Hope is Alive have? Where do you guys serve?
So when I came on the team in 2020, we had, I think, 25 staff members, and we were in 3 different states at that point, North Carolina, Kansas, and Oklahoma. Since then, we have expanded to Colorado and Texas and Arkansas, looking at different locations today. We've put a little bit of a pause on it to make sure we are stewarding what God has given us and doing right by that. We're also opening up a healing center. It's what we're calling it, and so that's the
Tell
day.
me what that looks like.
That's the day one. So we get thousands of calls a month of people looking for help, seeking help to get clean, sober, a recovery program. A lot of them are asking for different things. So we've outsourced a lot of that. And the healing center is just somewhere we can, after you get out of a medical detox, because we're not going to be doing that there, at least so we know you're safe once you get there and you're not going to, have a seizure and die. But
so you go somewhere else for the first 30 days?
not 30. I would say the times that I went to detox, it was 7 to 10 days.
Okay.
At that point, you're safe to not take anything. Coming off of heroin and methamphetamine and all the other drugs that I was taking.
I've heard alcohol.
Alcohol is a dangerous one to come off of for sure. So if there's drugs and medication that they give you at these detox centers, and they wean you off of it, and it's usually 10 days. When I was coming off of alcohol, it was 10 days in the psych ward of a hospital, keeping you on these drugs, and then you taper down, and then you're free to leave. They know you're not going to die.
A lot of people have no exposure to this at all. You said your dad was one of those people.
Yeah.
And I have not had as much exposure in my entire life as I have for the last 6 months.
Really? Yeah.
I've went to the homeless and talked to them, and I've went into some of these treatment facilities and had tours of that. Had a lot of people here on Tulsa Talks with me. And it's mind-blowing what people are living.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, it's the epidemic of my generation. I think the drug addiction, opiates, all that type of stuff has really crippled my age and below, and fentanyl today. But like you said, my dad, I asked him to buy me cigarettes one time when I was in detox, and he had no idea how. Like, what do I say to what do I even say to him? He had never done any of that. So, and I know that's not everybody's story. I'm blessed in that regard, honestly, because I have people that I come in contact with on a daily basis that their parents are struggling as well. And I don't know. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for my parents and the support that they gave me. So, I mean, I have friends that their parents were the ones that introduced them to this stuff. And so,
I knew a lady I had met at the beach down at Crystal Beach, Bolivar Peninsula, just not too far from Galveston.
Okay, yeah.
And I was a teenager, and her mom had a bag, like a 1-gallon Ziploc bag of ecstasy every Saturday and Sunday. And by the end of the day, those things were gone.
Yeah.
I didn't do them. I drank when I went to the beach, but I was like, no, I'm never going to do any of that. I know who I am, and I just need to stay away from that, because I am hyper-focused, adrenaline junkie, all in for whatever it is. And
you get a taste of that.
drugs would have been really bad for me. I could have very easily went down that spiral, but I didn't. But you were talking about how parents introduce their children. This lady and her daughter were some of the biggest drug dealers. And they were doing it personally. I went over to her house, and this is unimaginable for a lot of normal society.
Yeah.
But I went over to her house like a couple months later after I met her and her mom, And for her 16th birthday, girl 16, her mom gave her a bag of marijuana and had a house party like you'd never seen. A couple of years later, both of them go to prison for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so...
Can you, I mean, most people can't
I can't
imagine their parents doing that with them.
For my parents to be my using buddy is totally foreign to me. But it
happens,
I
doesn't
see it all the time. Yeah, for sure. And we have people in our program today that we have goals that we set in Hope is Alive. And one of them is a God goal. So a goal that only through divine intervention can come to pass. And a lot of I hear on Sundays, hey, I want my mom or my dad to be sober and get in recovery.
That's an only God can do.
Yeah.
Dream.
Yeah, there's because
prayer.
Because we know from coming through our own addictions and that, you know, if love could save us, then we would have been healed. A lot of us, and that's my story. And you know, my parents did everything they possibly could. Resources, money, and Enable was part of our journey as well. But
how did they stop that? I suppose they stopped enabling at some point.
Oh yeah, after, you know, in drug addiction, for me anyways, it was a lot of lying, cheating, stealing, manipulation, and when you've burned people enough, they're done helping you in any way.
Yeah.
So you can lie and get stuff from your enabler for a long time, but once they come, and we have family support groups that really help with that, called Finding Hope at Hope is Alive, and we have probably 12 of those here.
Support groups for the family
members and loved ones. Yes, and a lot of it is learning how to set boundaries, not enable. You know, I could...
And actually realize that you're not helping when you're enabling.
Not anymore, no.
Once you realize you're enabling, it's like...
Yeah, and it's keeping them sick.
Yeah.
You know, I needed my parents to cut me off. I needed my mom to not allow me in the house unless she was there. It was for a shower and a meal, and then you gotta go. She had my younger siblings to protect. So looking back,
and herself, and you to help,
and her sanity,
and you to help,
absolutely. And so looking back, I see that now. And even
you're in the middle of it.
You know, emotions are high.
It's tough, isn't it?
Yes, but near the end, man, you had to take a step back, and I was like, yeah, I don't deserve right now to be anywhere close to them. My dad was the same way, but...
So circling back to Hope is Alive, and you guys launching this new program of...
The Healing Center.
Healing Center.
Yeah.
Where is it located?
That's going to be in Jones, Oklahoma. So
Where's Jones?
It's about 60 miles from here in Tulsa and about 20 miles from our home base in Oklahoma City.
Okay.
So kind of out on some land where phase one is we're going to welcome men first. That, fingers crossed, God willing, October 14th is the opening date.
Nice.
I've been okayed to tell people that. I mean, it's been a 2-year process of, you know, all the things that you have to, permits and fire marshal stuff, all those things that we're not exactly used to with just being in the sober living homes realm or support groups. It's a whole nother lane. So we're opening that. The next phase would be to open a retreat center for the family members and loved ones, that we can have our Finding Hope retreats out there, so they
On
can,
the same property?
Yes, it's 75 acres out there, and the men kind of have this corner. The family support group will be on the other side, and then phase 3 would be having women, and that's over by the cabins.
So 3 different buildings?
Oh, there's a lot of different buildings, and that was part of the hurdles, is how to do.
So the buildings, the structures are already there, and you guys are renovating, retrofitting?
No, if that were the case, it probably would have been a little bit easier. The home out there is huge. So the home right now is totally ready to have some men come in and start the program. Then the barns, it was the old Oklahoma Polo Grounds. So
I bet that's beautiful.
it is, but we had to turn these awesome barns into what we're calling the teaching barn. So that'll be where counselors and classes are held for the guys and eventually women. So those have been redone, and right now the actual men's dorms are going up. Next will be the cabins, I believe, for the family members. So those aren't there yet. And all these are different permits. It's legal stuff way over my head, but it's a process, and we're going through it right now. But
not really your lane of
no, not
building
at all.
out those facilities?
No, helping raise the funds
helping
for
raise
it.
the funds.
Yeah, that's more.
So you have to know a little bit about what's going on.
Absolutely, and I'm interested in it too. It's something
that's a big deal.
It's something that I believe that our founders and board prayed about for a long time, and felt called to do. So as long as that's the case, I'm gung ho for it. You know, it's totally different. So
yeah. I told you that I've always been an all-in guy, and my wife says that it's genetics, because my family, the men on my dad's side of the family, have been those guys, and I think you probably are somewhat similar to that.
And my wife is somewhat similar. Yeah.
At one time, I put all of my chips into things that were not beneficial.
Yeah.
And by experiencing that with the accelerator to the floor, it helped me be developed so that I could understand people like that and those other people that are not those people, and be equipped to push all chips into good things.
Right. Things that I don't know. For me, it's, have I prayed about it? Have I thought about it? How have I ran it by trusted sources in my life? Because I've had a lot of people that I could run stuff by in my life that probably weren't the best advice.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing those mentors that you have in your life, spiritual, business, whatever mentors you have, and just bouncing it off of them, hearing a different perspective. But like you've said, it's our wives are lots of times the voice of reason in our lives, and that's the case in my life as well.
Very fortunate to have been given the wife that I have.
Yeah,
very humbling to have that in my life.
Yeah.
Support, encouragement, and always has the right question.
Right. It makes us think a little bit deeper on it.
Yeah.
I get that daily, and I'm blessed for it.
But anyway, you're building this thing out, the old Polo Community Center, 20 miles outside of Oklahoma City, 60 miles from here.
Yeah.
Is that like off 66?
Right 66? Off of the Kickapoo Turnpike.
Okay.
Yeah, so you get off on that Jones exit, and you're pretty much right there. Yeah.
Okay, now I got it. Yeah. So, what does your daily function look like? Give us a day in the life of Garrison.
Yeah, so a lot of it's diving into reports and our CRM, seeing the donations that came in, thanking people with excellence, letting them know that whatever the donation size is, that it matters and it's being put to good use.
You send things out to people?
Oh, yeah.
As far as this is how we're using these funds?
Yes, absolutely. Or they give to a certain campaign and making sure that it gets categorized in that right way. So that's a lot of the back end stuff, but a lot of it's face-to-face meetings like this, doing podcasts to get the word out on Hope is Alive, but my story as well, which I've learned can be a powerful weapon for good.
Yeah.
And
the Bible, one of my quotes or verses, and I'm not a Bible quoter anymore. I used to quote it up one side and down the other, but it goes something like this: "They overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony."
Yeah.
Testimonies are integral parts of who we are and how we help ourselves and help those around us.
Right. So it's being able to tell that and sitting down for whether it be breakfast, coffee, or lunch, just doing life with people. I get as much out of it as anybody else does.
Do you ever do public speaking?
Yeah, I spoke at a Rotary Club last week, and I don't think I'm the best at it, but I know how to tell my story. So no one can tell me that, hey, that's not the right, it's my story. So I can tell that. 5 years and counting, I've learned how to tell Hope is Alive's story as well, and where we're at, where we're going, where we've been. But I'm not as gifted as our founder is, who can speak to 1,200 students at a school, or switch it around and speak to 200 people on a Sunday for a church service. I'm probably not the guy to ask for that, but something I did learn early on in the Hope is Alive program is always say yes. So I agree to do everything. I'll say yes to it. And
have you ever heard of Toastmasters International?
Yeah. Learning how to speak. Yeah, we've taken courses.
Have you really? Okay.
Yeah, we did that at our last staff advance.
Okay.
And listened to the, I don't know who, a 2023 public speaking champion or something. She was learning how to use your hands and voice and all that.
Inflection.
It was very interesting, and definitely stuff that I need to work on, and wasn't it, but. And I don't want to discard myself and saying that I'm not gifted at that. So I kind of want to rewind on that. I can do it with the help of God in my life. Like, I know if I'm well prepared, if I've prepared for it, if I've prayed about it, I can get up there and get the job done. So that's kind of where I'm at with it. It's not going to come natural to me, I don't feel like.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that it comes natural to very many people.
Right. Well, that's probably true. Yeah, my boss would say the same thing.
So going back, talking about this retreat, or the retreat for the family and then the women's, what's that timeline? Do you guys have an expected timeline to get the rest of it open? So we first started announcing this at our fall fundraiser in 2023. So 2024 was a lot of the first year, maybe year zero, of the capital campaign for it. 2025 has been a lot of boots on the ground, moving dirt, stuff like that. And we've said a 3-year timeline for it all. So year 1 is the men, year 2 families, and year 3 is the women. And there'll be a tabernacle out there, I think is what we're calling it. We want basketball and pickleball courts, and all of this.
the plans are incredible. Now what God has in store, what the funding that we get for it all, all that is God's will, and we'll see what happens. But the plans are incredible, and I can send you over those because I like bragging about it, bragging on what God has done for us and what He will continue to do, and I believe that. So,
how many people are in your position of community interaction and fundraising?
So I have above me, I have the founder of Hope is Alive that came in with 5 guys and just living in a house, kind of broing it up. And his wife came along and actually made it a program, made everything a lot bigger and beautiful. But I have him, and he's more hands-off now. He's more raising kind of the bigger dollars for that healing center right now. That's his main job. Then I have my director that's over me. He's in Oklahoma City, and he oversees all of the development team. And then it's myself and 3 other seniors that oversee multiple homes, multiple markets, and other people underneath of us. And then probably 7 people underneath us across the country. So a North Carolina person, a Dallas-Fort Worth person, Kansas City, Wichita, Colorado Springs, and some Oklahoma City staff, since it's our biggest area that we cover, the most people that we have that know and support Hope is Alive. So on our team, I think we're at 15 now. We fluctuate 15 to 13 depending on the needs. So.
On fundraising.
Yeah, fundraising, but also
business development.
Yeah, and the volunteer engagement is a big part of our job as well. So, we, like we discussed, we have people that they're stretched thin. It's not, giving isn't what they're going to be doing, but they can use their hands and feet, and they can be the hands and feet of Jesus, and they want to be around the residents, pour into the guys and gals in our program, so they come through me.
What kind of volunteer do at your place?
We have on Sunday nights, kind of the rundown of our week. Sunday nights we have our big meeting where the men come together here in town, the women get together at another location, they share a meal that is provided by volunteers, so that's one way I plug people in.
So the volunteers get the food and make the food?
If they want to make it, if they want to order pizza, we'll accept anything edible. Most of them like to prepare that Sunday and prepare a meal. But
they bring the food as well.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So they come and serve in that way. And then I ask people in the community, which I would love to have you come speak to the men, women.
Let's make a date.
Yeah,
I would also like to be able to go down to that healing center and take a video.
Oh, yeah.
Pre-occupancy, so that I'm not doing any HIPAA thing or whatever.
I have a perfect event for you that we're calling Polo to Praise. And it's 3 days at the end of September that you can come over for any hour slot and get a tour of it, hear the vision of it, and so I'll send you that as well.
Beautiful.
But,
so people come in and they
speak, bring meals. The next day, Monday, is open to anybody that wants to come and join in on our Bible study. They don't have to lead it; they just be a part of. Sit there and listen. And if it turns into you discipling one of the guys or gals, which it usually does, then great. If you just come once a quarter, that's cool too. But consistency is key with these people.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
you can go in and be a little bit detached if you're just going in there and doing public speaking.
Yeah.
But if you're going to engage, it needs to be real consistent.
Right. And we've had a lady here in Tulsa that I mean, I don't know how many she's missed, but I think she's been at almost every Monday night Bible study for the last 7 years. And this lady is, even to some of our graduates, is still just one of their dearest friends. And, you know, that's the...
How do you remove yourself
scenario.
from being a friend and be more of a mentor?
Yeah.
Or do you need to?
Well, I mean, in some, it's taken a lot of practice and trial and error, and a lot of ups and downs with. When I was in the program, about half of my time in the program, I was also working for Hope is Alive. So instantly, when people come into the homes, they're looking up to you because you're a staff member for Hope is Alive, and they're seeing what you do, and if you're doing it right or wrong, you know, a lot of times they're going to mimic it. So, and then learning how to, I don't know, I felt like I had to put my guard up at some point, because you get close to these people, and then 2 weeks in, 3 months in, they're gone, and they've went back to using or drinking, and that takes a toll on you. So for your own spiritual and mental health, you want to protect yourself in that regard. But
people that have never been around that community might not realize how nice, how intelligent, how personable a lot of drug addicts are.
Oh, for sure. And hard workers too, if we get the chance.
Yeah, and they know scripture like nobody else.
Yeah.
A lot of times, even though they're dealing with that addiction or they're in the middle of that addiction, they can logically expound on many different subjects.
Yeah.
They're nice people, they're personable, yet they've got this one thing that they can't overcome for some reason.
Right. Yeah, and you got to work at it on a daily basis to stay in that lane and stay in the middle of the pack, because you'll get picked off pretty easily if you're just, you could be walking down the street in a great headspace, and then, I mean, where I was in Wichita, we weren't in the best part of town, and we've since moved to a different house there. But I mean, it would not surprise me if you walked outside and you found a baggie on the ground of some meth or whatever. And so, I forgot where I was going with that.
It's amazing
it's one move away.
how reasonably good these people are. And I'm sharing this because a lot of people have never spent any time with people that are addicts.
Yeah.
How reasonably good these people are, and how intelligent they are, and how hard workers they are. But they've got this one thing.
It's pure evil. You know, that one thing is pure evil. That one thing. So, and we're all one step away from being right back there. So staying away from that.
How do you not build intimate relationships with basically good people that have this one thing that's destroying them to keep that from destroying you, is the question.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't say that you have to. I feel like you can have that relationship with these guys, and it can turn into something beautiful, but you need to be prepared for it to go south. But then also sticking with that person if it does go that direction.
How do you stick with them and not enable them?
You're there for support, and I've always said they'll reach out if they want to. Now, I'm not as much on the front lines of it as our program managers are. The program managers are the heartbeat of our organization, and they're the people that are walking through these phases of our program with the residents.
Yeah, I was just talking about how volunteers could have come in and have some kind of an understanding of what might be set in front of them and how it affects these people that are volunteering.
I see it. I see it with some of our volunteers that will call me and they're heartbroken about, oh, I heard this guy's out again and drinking, and what I tell them is, you pray for them, and if they call, answer the phone, but you're not giving these people anything. So if they're trying to get you for $20 or whatever, you have to be able to say no to that, no matter how close you felt to them for the last 6 months that they were in this program.
But you have the balance of these other people that graduate and go on to great things.
Right. I mean, we have,
well, right?
Absolutely. We have about an 80% success rate of graduates staying in long-term sobriety at Hope is Alive. So that, and we have our alumni association that we meet once a month and get together and talk about, the difficulties that we're going through, the wins that we have in our lives, and you get to see great things. People start families, people getting plugged back into their families that they haven't talked to in years. So
80%.
Yeah, that people that graduate. So it's very hard to graduate our program.
Your
I'm not going to
program's how long?
That. When you come in, we ask you to at least to commit to a year to 18 months. So that would, and you're doing about 70 requirements to graduate. And that's everything from starting a checking account and having a budget to going through the steps of Alcoholics Anonymous with a sponsor, going through the steps of codependency and sex, love, and relationship addiction with a sponsor. When I was in the program, it was reading through the whole Bible. So we had, in phase 1, you're reading from this chapter to this chapter, phase 2 the next, and then you're finishing out the Bible. I think now it's the New Testament that we're reading through. So it shifts a little bit sometimes, but...
Man, some of those prophets in the Old Testament are brutal to read. They're brutal.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
This is destruction that has been set in front of you. But the beautiful thing is, to me, that Jesus came as was promised.
Yeah.
And bridged that gap.
And it's
back
all
to
connected.
rightness.
It's all connected. From Genesis all the way to Revelation. So I enjoyed reading cover to cover of the Bible, and I would definitely encourage people to do that. But phase-wise, we have them read the New Testament, and
nice.
You're going through just tons of things. So you're not just going to sit there for 18 months and graduate our program. So I don't.
You guys have a certain way of helping people, and it's a proven way to help people. Absolutely. Because you have 80% graduation, and I know some people that graduated from you guys' program, and they seem to be, quote, well-adjusted.
Yeah. And then that's what we want. We want it to be the last step before you go back into regular old life. Hopefully go home to your husband or wife that's, there waiting for you. That's the perfect scenario. It doesn't always work out. And it's outside of our control at that point.
Yeah. You can help that person.
Right.
Help themselves.
Right. Whether we can...
all the peripherals,
you can't
all
really
the old
adjust.
Relationships, and people get fed up sometimes.
Right, and then they see you doing all these good things and being celebrated at Hope is Alive, and it can be hurtful sometimes. So, we see that, and it's walking through that with guys or girls that are going through the same thing that you are.
But 80% chance, 80% graduation rate.
No,
roughly.
no, it's lower than that graduation rate. Now, if you graduate, 80% of our graduates have stayed sober for a long term.
There you go.
Yeah. I don't exactly have the number.
Yeah, a lot of people come in short term.
Right. And
That I think I've heard that story. A lot of people come in short term.
Right.
And they are like, yeah, no.
And our program's not easy, and if you don't want to, if you don't really want to be there for yourself to have a better life, then it's probably not going to work for you. I mean, you get people all the time that come in and we ask them to, hey, download Life 360 on your phone so everybody in the house can see where everybody else is at. People are taken aback by that. Even I was when I came to the program the second time. That wasn't part of the program when I was in the first time.
People need accountability.
Yeah, and if you don't have anything to hide, who cares where you're at?
At that level, people need accountability.
Right.
And at every level, we need an accountability partner.
Right.
To help us keep our guardrails. To me.
It was the same. For me, as definitely, I needed almost zero freedom at that point.
Yeah.
I needed to be told by people that have been through the same thing exactly what to do, when to do it, and Hope is Alive provided that for me, and that's what we try to provide today for these people that are coming in. So. We like I said, we want to be the last step. We've always looked at it like kind of like a baseball diamond, and the first base being that medical detox that I talked about earlier. The second step being that 30, 60, 90-day rehab facility where it's building a foundation for recovery, getting a clear mind so you can go back. And to our third base is a Hope is Alive house. That's the last step before you go back to your house or to a home, whether it's living with a buddy or living with your family again. And we've seen, we at Hope is Alive being the third base, we've seen over the years that we're sending people to these rehab facilities that we don't exactly know if they're teaching people in the way that we believe it needs to be done. So that's where the new healing center comes into play. And after they're out of the detox center, they come into us, hopefully day 10, day 7, and start that foundation on what the beliefs that we think work and know work, because we've seen it multiple times.
If there's one takeaway that you want to give to people on this podcast, What is it?
The biggest difference for me for Hope is Alive wise when I came into the program was the community that was pouring into us. So I would say if you have a chance to volunteer with a program like Hope is Alive or Hope is Alive, then do it. Like you said, these people, they are normal, awesome individuals. So you said a lot of different things, but awesome. They're great people. They have this one part of their life that is covered in darkness. And so if we can keep that at bay, these are normal people and they need love and respect like the rest of us, and the community around when I was in the program and the people that I get to plug into Hope is Alive today make all the difference in the world. So if that's something that you want to be a part of, and you can either dip your toes in or dive all the way in.
You guys have a website that they can go to and visit?
You go to hopeisalive.net, click Get Involved and volunteer, and that sign up. That email will come straight to me, and I'll talk to you about how you want to get involved.
Hopeisalive.net.
Hopeisalive.net. You'll find everything that you need there.
Thank you, Garrison.
I appreciate it, Greg.
We are here to help you discover or develop your passions, how you can use them, and why you exist. How can we help you help others better?